After the First World War, from 1918 to 1929, the United States of America economy grew rapidly. On Wall Street in New York, the American stock market boomed. Share prices rose, and many people thought they would continue to rise indefinitely. What no one predicted was that this period, known as the Roaring Twenties, was to come to a sudden end with the Wall Street crash. The economic boom was based on cheap credit. It was very easy to borrow money. As share prices rose, people started to borrow money to invest in the stock market. If share prices continued to rise, they were okay. But if share prices went down, they would not be able to pay back the money they owed. The market became caught up in a speculative bubble. Psychology played an important part too. People who knew very little about investing in the stock market simply followed the lead of others. And the American government did not regulate Wall Street at all. They preferred to let the banks regulate themselves. However, the bubble had to burst. Share prices became overvalued, and some investors started to sell. In September 1929, the Dow Jones Index of leading shares began to fall. On Thursday, October 24, 1929, 12.9 million shares were traded, and the Dow Jones Index fell dramatically. The next day, the heads of New York's biggest banks decided to act. On the New York Stock Exchange, they bought a large number of shares in important or blue-chip companies. Initially, this plan worked, but there was a problem. In other cities across the United States, people continued selling their shares. When the results from these cities arrived in New York, there was panic. On Monday, Black Monday, the Dow Jones Index fell by 13%. On Tuesday, the index fell by another 12%. That day, the market lost $14 billion in value. In November, the market began to recover, but the damage was already done. Many banks did not have money to lend to people and to companies. Banks with money were afraid to lend. Millions of ordinary people who had borrowed money to buy shares lost everything. Companies also went bankrupt, and the United States spiraled into depression. It took another 10 years for the American economy to recover.